When we think of the world's wealthiest individuals today, names like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Bill Gates spring to mind, each boasting fortunes well over $100 billion. Yet even these staggering sums pale in comparison to the historical titans of wealth. In this journey through time, we begin with John D. Rockefeller, an American oil magnate often considered the richest person in modern history. With an estimated net worth of around $400 billion in today's money, Rockefeller's story is one of a meteoric rise from modest beginnings. Born into a large family with a frequently absent father known for peddling worthless potions, young Rockefeller had to contribute early to his family's livelihood. He undertook various odd jobs, such as caring for neighbors' turkeys, selling potatoes, and peddling candy. Despite the meager earnings, his entrepreneurial spirit was evident. His hard work and savvy savings allowed him to start offering small loans to others, showcasing his business acumen even in his youth. At the age of 16, Rockefeller made a pivotal decision. He dropped out of school and became a bookkeeper, earning a mere 50 cents a day. His determination to rise above his circumstances became clear when, after 2 years of receiving no significant raise, he ventured into his own produce business. He had set himself a goal of making $100,000, knowing well that building his own enterprise was the key. His first job had already equipped him with essential skills, connections, and a solid reputation, which enabled him to raise $4,000 to start his venture. This business, dealing in goods like meat, hay, and grain, proved successful. In its first year, it made close to $500,000. While a substantial portion of this revenue was reinvested in business expenses and loans, it set the stage for Rockefeller's future investment in an industry that was about to boom: oil. In 1859, the discovery of the first American oil well sparked the Pennsylvania oil rush. However, Rockefeller, with his keen business sense, realized that the real fortune lay not in drilling oil, but in refining it. At the young age of 24, he used the profits from his produce business to build an oil refinery. This decision marked the beginning of a monumental chapter in his life. He later met Henry Flagler, an investor who saw potential in Rockefeller's vision. Together, they incorporated the Standard Oil Company. This partnership was the foundation of what would become a vast empire. They embarked on a strategy of buying out smaller refineries, effectively monopolizing the market. Rockefeller's tactics, including selling oil at a loss to undercut competition and force smaller companies out of business, were ruthless but effective. These practices enabled Standard Oil to expand across the country, eventually controlling a staggering 90% of the world's oil refining industry. The growth of Standard Oil was unprecedented. With each acquisition and expansion, the company's power and influence in the industry increased exponentially. Rockefeller's approach was not only about expansion, but also about consolidation and efficiency. He aggressively negotiated for better rates and discounts, significantly cutting costs. He was known for engaging in secretive deals, further cementing his company's dominance. By the 1870s, Standard Oil's empire was vast, and Rockefeller's wealth was skyrocketing. The company's success was also bolstered by its structure. Rockefeller hired the owners of the refineries he bought as trustees, centralizing the industry's intelligence and expertise under one roof. At its peak, Standard Oil was estimated to be worth almost $1 trillion in today's money, a testament to Rockefeller's unparalleled business acumen. John D. Rockefeller's business practices and the vast empire he built have made him a subject of great controversy. On one hand, he is celebrated for making oil an affordable commodity and for his extraordinary philanthropic efforts, donating approximately $540 million to charitable causes. Adjusted for inflation, this makes him one of history's most generous philanthropists. However, on the other hand, Rockefeller's methods were often seen as ruthless and monopolistic. His impact on the business world was so significant that it prompted the creation of legislation like the Sherman Antitrust Act, aimed at preventing monopolies like Standard Oil. Despite this, Rockefeller's fortune continued to grow, and he remained the world's richest man until his death, solidifying his status as one of history's most complex and influential figures. Turning the pages of history further back, we encounter Mansa Musa, a figure often overshadowed in the modern narrative, but arguably the richest person to have ever lived. Ruling the Mali Empire in the 14th century, Mansa Musa presided over lands rich in resources, notably gold and salt. Under his leadership, the empire flourished, expanding its trade routes across Africa and Asia. The Mali Empire became a beacon of wealth, culture, and education, with Mansa Musa at its helm. His reign saw the empire triple in size, annexing 24 major cities and never losing a battle. Mansa Musa's approach to governance was unique. He not only expanded his empire through conquest, but also attracted territories through the promise of a high quality of life for its citizens. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 is a story of opulence and generosity that has stood the test of time. Accompanied by tens of thousands, including soldiers, slaves, and heralds, all adorned in luxurious Persian silk and carrying gold, the spectacle captured the world's attention. His journey was not just a display of wealth, but also a mission of charity. He gave away vast amounts of gold to the poor and built a mosque every Friday. However, his extravagant spending also had unintended consequences, causing economic disruptions due to the sudden influx of gold in the regions he visited. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage not only showcased his immense wealth, but also significantly impacted the economies and societies he encountered. Upon his return from Mecca, Mansa Musa focused on building a lasting legacy for the Mali Empire. He transformed Timbuktu into a center of commerce and learning, attracting scholars and architects from across the Muslim world. Under his patronage, monumental educational and religious institutions were built, including one of the first major universities in the region. This university could accommodate up to 25,000 students and boasted one of the world's largest libraries. Mansa Musa's investments in education and architecture not only elevated Timbuktu's status, but also had a lasting impact on the cultural and intellectual landscape of the region. Mansa Musa's display of wealth and the subsequent fame of the Mali Empire had far-reaching consequences. News of the empire's riches, particularly its vast gold reserves, eventually reached Europe, sparking interest among European powers. This attention was not solely academic or cultural, it carried the threat of conquest and exploitation. The desire to control Mali's resources became a driving force for European exploration and eventual colonization in Africa. Mansa Musa's reign, while a golden age for Mali, inadvertently set the stage for future challenges the empire would face from external powers. Another contender for the title of history's richest is Genghis Khan, the fearsome Mongol leader known for his unparalleled conquests. Between 1206 and 1227, he conquered a staggering 12 million square miles of land, amassing wealth and possessions from each conquered kingdom. Genghis Khan's methods were brutal, but his empire's sheer size and the value of the lands and resources he controlled were beyond comprehension. His fortune, though built through conquest and often overlooked in discussions of wealth, represents a different paradigm of power and resource accumulation. Let's continue our journey talking about Jacob Fugger, often called Jacob Fugger the Rich. Jacob was a Renaissance-era banker whose fortune and influence were extraordinary. Owning 2.2% of Europe's entire economic output, Fugger's wealth was unparalleled for his time. He financed kings, explorers, and religious leaders and played a pivotal role in changing Christian laws regarding interest on loans. His strategic investments and ability to convince others to lend him money for further investments made him one of the wealthiest individuals in history, with an estimated worth of around $400 billion in today's money. Finally, Caesar Augustus, the first Roman emperor, is another contender for the title of history's richest. Reigning from 27 BC to 14 AD, Augustus's wealth was so immense that some estimates place his net worth at around $4.6 trillion today, largely due to his personal ownership of Egypt. While these figures are speculative, given the vast expanse of time and differences in economic structures, they underscore the immense wealth and power that Augustus wielded during his reign.